this video I'm gonna show you guys what thread swapping is and why it is so important. I'm obviously in a practice mode here with what the fuck mode on. Make me able to blink out the lane very quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Right, now it's removed. So whenever you're playing in a laning stage, let's say you're mid here for instance, you got yourself a bottle, you wanna get the most efficiency out of your threads, right? Sure, you can swap to agility threads when you're an agi hero to get 10 plus damage, and you can swap to strength to get more health, and you can swap to intelligence to get more mana. All of these are pretty clear stuff. But what happens when you want to get more out of your bottle ticks? Why should I be on agility whenever I use a bottle charge? The answer to this is pretty clear. If I just attack these ancients here and go down, I'm gonna use my morph agility gain to get low amounts of health. Alright, so if I'm this low and I use a bottle charge, what is gonna happen? It's gonna give me a whole lot of health, right? Because this restores 135 health, and 135 health of 245 is more than half, so it's gonna give me more than half with just one bottle charge. I'm gonna go ahead and bottle up here, and you're gonna see this restores a whole lot of health. However, if I up my health here, now I swap back to my strength threat, so I have about 900 health. What's gonna happen now if I use a bottle charge on this amount of maximum health? It's not gonna give you close to the same, right? Now it's just gonna give you roughly 10%, I mean lower than 10%. So now it doesn't give you all that much. However, if I swap back to my agi threads here, it's gonna give me even more, right? Because now my maximum health is lower. So what you wanna do when you're in the laning stage and you have 900 health, you want to get as much out of this bottle charge as possible. So what you do is you remove as much maximum health as possible, because these threads are on strength, so they give you a lot of health, because strength gives health in Dota. So now I swap the threads and I go down to agility, gives me a lower amount of maximum health, and I use this bottle charge, and then I go back to strength threads again, and now it gives me more HP. Now I'm gonna show you guys how to properly swap your threads while in lane. So whenever you're farming and you feel like you could be ganked, you should always have your power threads on strength. This because it gives you the most amount of health, and this is the safest way to farm. However, if you feel like you're in a safe spot, or your teammates are creating some space for you, you just want to push that tower down or just farm as fast as possible, just go ahead and swap your threads over to agi. If you're an agility hero, that is. If you're a strength hero, then strength gives you the damage. If you're an agility hero, agility gives you the damage, and if you're an intellect hero, then intelligence gives you the damage. So if I'm on morphling here, I want to be on agi threads as much as possible. However, if I feel the gank coming, as I said before, swap over to strength. If you want to farm this down as quickly as possible, swap over to intelligence. The reason behind this swapping over to intelligence to cast a spell is because you get a higher amount of mana when you're into intelligence, and thus you lose less mana. Now I'm gonna show you a third way how you can be even more efficient with your bottle usage. If I swap my threads to agility here, it's gonna give me less of a health pool, which is gonna give me more for my bottle charges, right? So I'm gonna go down. Now I have 800 health. However, I can decrease this even more by dropping every item in my stash that gives me attributes. So this iron bench gives me 1 attribute, this BKB gives me 10 strength, and this Lincoln sphere gives me 15 to all attributes. So if we drop this down, our maximum health and maximum mana is going to decrease by a whole bit. So we're gonna drop these items on the ground. As you can see, now I only have 300 health and I only have 377 mana. What happens now if I use my bottle? It's gonna refill me almost up to full, right? And then we pick this Lincoln sphere and blacking bar and iron bench up, and we swap back to threads, and magic! We got full health. This next trick I'm gonna show you is a small useful trick that you can use with Bounty Hunter for getting some extra harassing damage in the laning stage. This Shadow Walk ability gives you invisibility and gives you bonus damage whenever you break your invisibility by hitting a target. However, when you're fading into invisibility, you can actually hit a target during the fade time and gain the bonus damage twice. I'm gonna show you how to do it now. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna activate this ability and then instantly hit this creep. As you can see, I got the bonus damage from this spell, and I also kept my Shadow Walk again, so I can hit the target twice. And this is very useful for gaining some extra damage in the laning stage from playing a Bounty Hunter. This is a hero that is most commonly played in the offlane, and sometimes you might want to steal the enemy bounty rune at level 1 by using your Icarus dive. This bounty rune gives you quite a bit of golden XP as of the latest change, so this is a very useful trick. All you have to do is press your dive towards the rune and grab it while in midair.